Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are the Motorcycle Rescuers, and this is Motorcycle Rescuer. Alright guys, so welcome back to the channel. Like we said, this isn't really our main focus, this bike. What we're doing is basically we've just put brand new front pads on. The front brake's fine, although I just realised the lever's bent, so it will pass, but it feels horrible.
There's lever in here, though.
Yeah, I think we'll try and find a spare lever. So what we want to do is get this bike kind of up and ready to have its MOT at some point. But this isn't priority today, really, John. Priority today is this bad boy over here. Now, we've got a new piston and cylinder. As tempted as I was, I wanted to get a 150 kit, but I didn't. I got an original 125 kit. Now, the reason we're doing this is simply because our exhaust studs were busted on the other one. Now, we do need to check that this is the right one, so it sits down like that, but yep, it should be. Once we've confirmed it's the right one, we will actually be doing a cylinder change on a piston and cylinder change on the other bike, so that's our aim for today. But we are kind of doing bits and pieces on this. Sultan's meant to turn up today to take his bike to MOT. Knowing him, he won't make it. He said to me yesterday, "Charlie, I'll be there at 11. He's an idiot. He's an idiot. They close at 12. You know, they open at 9, get here for 9. And knowing him, he's not going to turn up. But I think he should, because I want his bike out of the garage. And my bike, no actual, you know, I've had calls and I've had chats with people. Someone lived in quite far, actually, Norfolk. And we were trying to arrange delivery. We were trying to arrange a meeting on, you know, halfway. And we were trying to arrange me showing him the videos of the bikes. But he's kind of died off, which is a shame. So this bike, 1850, it should go soon-ish. I'm not in a huge hurry with that one, because once someone sees it, they will want it. But that's what we're doing. So we're going to pull over the moped today, I think, John, and we'll do kind of, I think we're going to focus on the cylinder swap. And then today or tomorrow, we've got the new Amal carbs for John's Triumph, which is very exciting, and we'll be chucking them on and firing it up, John. Yeah. Piston and cylinder change. They're all fairly, not simple, they're all fairly similar, especially all the Chinese. You might have to undo the seat lock there, John. Especially the Chinese bikes, so they're all similar. The hardest part, guys, is finding the top dead center and being able to set the timing again at the end. That is the hardest part, and I'm not sure that, you know, how well we can show you how to do that part, but we'll show you what we think. Okay, so this is what we're looking at. It's down here. We need to remove this top section, the carb ideally as well, because that's all connected to the part we're changing. So at the moment, keeping it kind of at its most simple and basic, we just want to take this head off, which is quick. That doesn't take long. That head off, but we'll take all these plastics away. We're going to take that head off. We take the cooling shrouds off, and then ultimately we'll be looking at the valves at the top next. That's what we'll be seeing in a minute. So it's 4 8mm bolts at the top up here, and we'll be looking at the valves. So let's kind of get to that stage. Okay guys, so on a moped, when you're looking for top dead center, you can only do it through this side, which is the fan side. You take the fan off there, and then there'll always be some sort of mark. Now our mark is here. It's a straight line, and it needs to point to that. That's how you know you'll be at top dead center. So it'll be kind of like that there, and that dot kind of represented. So the dot and the line would need to point to there. Now when we take the head off, we're going to mark the chain anyway. So it actually doesn't matter where we set this wheel, because we're going to mark the chain in positions that you can't go wrong. Basically, we'll look at where the lobes are sitting and what's saying. I'm going to show you that, but I'm gonna top dead this anyway. Not helpful. I am gonna top dead this anyway for good practice. You alright? Yeah. Okay. So next step for us, guys, is don't worry about that at this stage, John. We'll pop off the housing. We'll look for top dead centre there.
Yeah, you're right.
We'll mark it as we feel the need to. So next step is popping this off. It's normally an 8. And my strong hands should be able to do it all on my own. Hang on. No. Alright, we'll work it out.
Oh yeah, move to a different place instead of the druggy alley. Oh, we're gonna manage this. Who's the fingers?
They're working up there. Very simple this bit, guys. You pop the 4 8s off and you pop the head off. So the Joker's off for MOT. Always, guys, always last minute checks. You want to know you've got your indicators working. You want to know your lights are working, your brake lights. No point going to MOT when something goes last minute. But get it warmed up first, Sultan. No, yeah, get it warmed up first, mate. Yeah, it's all good so far. Hang on, is the rear on? Go right again, right indicator. Yeah, okay. I think you're good. Your battery looks low though, so stop messing with it. Fire it up, warm it up. Okay, guys, so you've popped your head off, and this is what you're looking at. John's just getting rid of the exhaust. This is what you're looking at. First thing here, right, is are we up top dead center? Now this circle, you can't really see it, but you see that circle is pointing up. That tells you that you're at top dead center, so that's okay. I am going to mark the chain on a couple of places with paint pen as well, though. The left lobe's up, but it will be up because that mark will be there anyway, so the lobe will be up. And that's kind of it at this stage, guys. Mark the chain in a couple of places, the chain and the cam, so that we can line it all back up. And then you pop these off and you start taking it apart. Your tensioner is under there. You need to loosen up your tension. Yeah, so mark the chain in 2 or 3 places, a bit like I did on the Ducati Monster. So I might do a line there and a line underneath, and then I might do one on this side, I might do a couple over here, all kind of showing where we're sitting. The ideal would be to remove this side plastic, which I might do to get me a bit more space. Otherwise we'll just work in there. Yeah, and we wish Sultan luck on his MOT. Cool. If we can pop this off anyway, we can probably, in fact, we can definitely do a repair that that will hold the exhaust properly. So we'll get it off and we'll do a repair. What that's going to look like at this stage, not sure. It could be a bit of weld. It could even be some sort of liquid weld, some sort of, you know, JB or something similar. Alright guys, so we've made a mistake. We don't need to change our piston and cylinder. That's the mistake we've made. We didn't look closely enough. We need to change the head. The exhaust port with our issue is on this head. It's here, look. It's that stud there. It's very hard to get a stud in. That one's rock solid, that one's fine, but it's here. Now you can't drill and tap. There's nothing to drill and tap to. What we can do is drop in something like JB Weld and kind of make a new thread in it, or just get it to seal in the old screw. We can do something like that. Okay, so we need to put the new head on. That's fine. Me and John were contemplating whether we bother or not, but actually we have got it here anyway. We've got the new piston and cylinder, so we should. You know, it takes minutes actually, and we've got new gaskets. Plus this bike's done 22,000 kilometers. It will be like brand new if we put that on, so we will do that. I'm going to do that now. I'm going to show you the repair I've done here. I think some of you might find it not overly appropriate, but I've got a very high temp specialist metal reinforced putty here. Plus I drilled through and tapped in basically some extra threads. So what we've got here is I think what will be a solid connection. It takes an hour to harden fully. I really do think that will be it. If it's not, then we'll buy one. It's 30 quid. We'll buy one and put it on. It's very quick and easy to do. But for now, I am going to try with that repair. So we're pretty busy today. But I am going to do this changeover because we'd be silly not to. So I'm going to pop this head, pop the piston, switch it all over. I'm not going to show you this bit by bit. I'll show you kind of a little bit, but it is the same as you've seen before. Basically, you set up your piston with your rings here. The rings are in there, but they're not on it. The rings go in a certain way. You then compress them, push them into this, and kind of set it up. I will. Do you know what? I'll show you bits and pieces. So at the moment, don't worry about the chain. That can hang loose. This head will just slide off. It might need a bit of convincing because it's been pressed onto a gasket, but this head will pop off. If you find it's giving you troubles, give it a little tap with a hammer or something. Remember, you're not using it anyway, so you just need to kind of, these fins here, if you pry on that, they'll snap quite easily, and I don't want to ruin the mating surface. So a bit of a tap, let's have a look. A bit of a tap with a hammer, really gently, and there you go. You just pull this out like this, and you are left with, there's your barrel. Don't worry about your, that's your chain guide. Put that into the new one when you redo it, that's fine. The other one will stay in there. Move all this crap out of the way. There, you've got your piston. Now that piston, it looks a bit, this bike's had good usage. Look, it looks a bit caked, but ultimately you could clean it up. But we're not going to. We're going to pop it out properly, and we'll put in all of the new stuff so that we've got basically a brand new engine here. We'll peel off this old gasket as well, clean it all up. That's kind of it, guys. It's as simple as that in many ways. So that's what we're doing. These sometimes come out, sometimes they don't. They're compressed in at the bottom. So this is what we're doing. There's a pinion here. It's going to be quite hard to get to, but we need to pop out a pin down in here, basically a retainer clip, so that we can then punch through the pinion there. Once we've done that, this will pop off. We put the new one onto that head. Wow, this bottom end feels lovely, by the way. Put the new head on, ready, with the rings all set and stuff, and then we kind of compress them by hand, squeeze them into the cylinder, and we seat it all down appropriately. But I'll show you. So there you go, guys. You knock out the piston here, the actual, oh god, the pinion it's called, and that's it. You should have it in your hand. Some people have issues getting these out. I've never ever had one stuck, never. But I know Nat had a horrendous one actually, that he had to get a tool for, and I know that they make specialist tools to remove them. But yeah, but personally I've never had a stuck one. I think if you run a bike short on oil, it would heat up and it would heat seize and kind of weld itself. That's when you'd have an issue. Look at your setup. The old setup will tell you the new setup. Each piston ring will have some sort of coding on it or colour, and that's what you're looking for on the new one. Normally one's darker, like a black. It looks like here the black is the second one down, or it will have a code on it. So that's basically how you're going to set up the new one. And then don't worry too much. People go into lots of depth about where the gaps should be. Don't worry too much. They just don't, you can't have them together. You see that gap there, right there, there's a gap. What you don't want is the second ring here. Look, if I bring this round, what you don't want is that, because then, can you see that? Because then, yeah, your piston may let through some compression. So you want them to be on opposite sides. That's the only thing you really need to worry about. You've got similar ones on this bottom oil drain ring, but again, you don't need to worry too much about that. Okay? Right, let me set up the new piston. So, new rings are on. I use 2-stroke. You can, of course, use assembly lube. That's the best stuff. But I use 2-stroke. You can use 4-stroke as well. And actually, I just kind of give it a good douse when it's first on the bike. Yeah, the bike's going to be smoky at first, but it will burn that off. Nice bit of lube on there, including the pinion. MOT? Done? I bet he failed. Nice! You're on the road. Did you pay ULEZ today?
ULEZ?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I paid, yeah.
Yeah. So guys, there's multiple ways of doing the piston and the cylinder. What I do is I put the snap ring in on the far side first, Then I put the whole pinion in and we get it all set like this. Then I put this snap ring on this side because it's quite awkward. You've got to kind of get in here and do it. Then your piston's kind of ready and set up. Once I'm pushing it into the cylinder, I need to clean off all this old gasket first. Once I'm pushing it into the cylinder, I'll tip a fair amount of 2-stroke on there. I'll rub some into the cylinder so that it's got its best chance of just kind of sealing and securing properly, basically. So I'm not going to film it, it's too awkward, that part, but ultimately we'll have a new gasket down here in a minute. We're going to clean off the old green, and then we'll have that in the cylinder here, housing, ready to be pushed down, okay? We'll put the locating studs across from the other one. Actually, no, they're here already. One there, yeah, they're both here already, so that's all good. Okay guys, so we've got piston in, we've got new gaskets, we've got the new cylinder. All of that's brand new, all fits very well. What we need to do is put the head back on. Just every now and again, just double check your top dead center marks. We are still on, maybe a tiny bit off, but that's fine. So that we know what we're playing with when we come back to setting up the top lobes. To be fair, you'll only be off by 1 or 2 every time, so you can kind of have a play with that. Next step is to put the valve head on, torque it all down by hand first guys, then look at appropriate torque settings, and kind of should be it. I'll show you what it looks like with the head on next, and then with the valves back on.
What's going on here? Two of the greats basically trying to rebuild an engine. Wanna walk us through what you're doing? And
yeah, no, the tensioner has to be right. Where is it?
so yeah, they're just.
This needs to be on top, just like that, John. That's it.
Well, from a novice point of view, I think they're trying to do something with the timing
But
belt.
how did you? How did you line it?
Well, basically, what I did is I line up the...
Also, while I'm here,
Yeah, you did.
my Virago is MOT'd. It passed with no advisories or anything like that. And yeah, I went to Maitland, whatever the name is. Yeah, got it done. Waited a half an hour, came back and basically got it on the road. Just need to get a chain and a cover. And yeah, this bad boy's on the road. Come with me to I need to go Mile End next week. But yeah, that's basically pretty much it. It's up and running.
Okay guys, wrapping up for today. We're running out of light. We haven't actually got done what we wanted to get done. We need to time it, set the valves and all of that stuff, but we have been busy today.